Welcome everybody. We need to call the meeting to order. Would everyone please stand for the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Would everyone please sign the cell phones? Ms. Evans, begin roll call.
Mayor Plummer.
Here.
Commissioner Brooks.
Here.
Commissioner Roberts. Here. Commissioner Gabbard.
Here.
Commissioner Gibson. Here. We have a quorum and ready for the transaction of business.
Okay, the packets were distributed. First thing on the agenda here is in the regular, the minutes from the regular meeting of September 14th, 2001. I'll entertain a motion to approve those minutes. Got a motion from the mayor, a second from Mr. Brooks. Roll call, please.
Mayor Plummer.
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts.
Yes.
Commissioner Gabbard.
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Gibson.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next on the agenda, we have a special request from Carol Arnold with the Arlington Townhome Association.
Yes.
Carol, you want to come forward, please? And
Not really. You're gonna come too, come on. Yeah, you come with me.
Gary Rand's here too.
We're supposed to have more than this show up, but they're lost.
Yeah. Others in route.
Yeah. Or you can sit in the big chair. I see you looking at me.
How do you do?
I'm fine.
Good.
What I wanna talk to you all about is, our streets in Arlington are terrible. There is weeds growing up through the middle of the streets. Big long lines going down where it's cracking. And it just, if it's an association, it doesn't look very good to be an association. We just need help getting them fixed. Curbs are falling down. I don't know where else to go or what to do. They haven't been done since Mayor Kaiser and I got Arlington put into the city, and that's been years ago, so we're getting bad.
We have no association fees accumulated.
Well, yeah, we pay fees every month, but that goes toward your trash, your mowing the grass, that's like, maintenance, everything like that. We don't, we really don't have a whole lot in there to do anything with. And you've got a lot of people out there that are also at an age where they're living on a very limited income.
What do we do presently?
Well, in doing a little research on this, in approximately 2004, it came before the city commission, and the city commission accepted the Arlington streets, sewers, and utilities for perpetual maintenance. That would be the streets. Now, what I've handed out is an aerial view of the development that kind of shows the configuration there, that along with these streets, the streets and the parking places run in together, which causes a situation that I don't know, legal counsel, can we actually go in and pave private parking lots?
I think, well, I think we have to look at what we accepted when it was proposed to answer that. Typically, no.
And we do, since 2004, we've been pushing snow out there and rerunning the street sweeper through, but, you can't get the parking spaces because there's cars parked there. That's the issue that we have. We know because of that, there's a memo that in 2004 it was accepted the streets were.
Actually, the streets haven't been cleaned in years. They haven't been, nothing ran through there in years. Matter of fact, I will go by and clean the curbs and all that stuff out by myself sometimes.
We accepted the streets. We didn't accept the sidewalks, the curbs, the gutters, or the parking places.
Do you know, does the plat delineate between the actual street and the parking?
I couldn't say for sure. And there again, even the street sweeper goes through with the way the curb, he's usually going up against the curb in this case.
And during the day, a lot of people are working, so it's pretty clear during the day. There's not a whole lot of cars over there. We just need some help.
Well, I think, say, Brian, what you said on the receipts, check that out.
And we pull the plat.
Yeah.
Looks at the business.
Right, okay.
I don't wanna misspeak and think that.
How many units out there?
Pardon?
How many units?
79.
79? Okay.
It's gonna take, obviously, anything to do with the paving or, you know, that kind of maintenance work, it's gonna take a considerable organized cooperation effort to get one side at a time.
But that's how we did it before, yeah. We did one side at a time and then.
So has this been, do we know it's been repaved since it was originally built?
Carol,
Yes, it had, but it wasn't really maintained by the city until we became part of the city, when when Mayor Kaiser, helped get us into the city limits. We've been paying city taxes all along, but not getting any benefits, so, he helped us. And at that point, we had the street itself had to meet a requirement before the city would even touch it. It had to be so deep. But it just hadn't been, just getting old.
Okay, so we'll have the city attorney look into the plat and see where the lines of ownership are, if you can, and we'll go from there, okay?
appreciate that.
Appreciate any help we can get.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Glad to take a look at it.
you.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Gary.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you all.
Next on the agenda, we have under old business, we have the GovHR City Manager Search Update from Commissioner Gibson.
So she has sent out, Sarah from GovHR has sent out the verbiage that's gonna go in that marketing piece. And, I've just kinda gone through and made some changes. I'm sorry, I have allergy issues. And if you all would like, I can send it to you all and see if you all see anything else that needs to be changed. And then, she's gonna then add that to the pictures. There was just a couple things like, it said the nearest, airport was Georgetown Airport, and I said, yeah, we don't even really consider that. They didn't even have bluegrass on there, so, a few things like that, the rest of it looks pretty good. But, anyway, she was saying that they want it, they really want it updated, so they can have it by Sunday, because there's an ICMA conference, and they would like to, show off Paris at that conference. So I'll send that all to you all tonight and see if you all have any other changes.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks. All right, next we have a second reading of an ordinance providing real property tax discount.
Right, yes, so on page 7, you'll see the ordinance. I'll just read, not the whole ordinance, but just a few areas here. So an ordinance providing discount to real property tax. Now therefore, be it ordained by the City of Paris City Commission as follows. The Board of Commissioners of the City of Paris desire to allot for a discount for the early payment of an ad valorem tax on real property. Any 2021 real property ad valorem tax that is paid in full on or before November 30th, 2021 shall be discounted by the amount of 2%.
All right, this will be the second reading, so we need a motion and a second to approve this. So, a motion by Commissioner Brooks, second by Commissioner Roberts. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Roberts?
Yes,
Commissioner Galbraith?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Gibson?
yes.
Commissioner Plummer?
Yes.
Or Mayor Plummer? Commissioner Brooks?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next is a second reading of an ordinance relating to peddlers and solicitors.
You all remember, you previously adopted this provision with a blank to be filled in, and so this fills in the blank for the business event license, which is kind of like the umbrella license for vendors at the cost of $100 per event.
Motion and a second, please. Get that motion from the mayor, second by Commissioner Gibson. Discussion or being none, roll call, please.
Commissioner Brooks?
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts?
Yes.
Commissioner Galbraith?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Gibson?
Yes.
Yes. Mayor Plummer.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next is an update concerning third-party review of wage study and the pay scale. Mr. Bowman.
Yeah, this was signed to me, so Brad and I have just spoken since this came up last time, just to kind of provide an update. I had reached out to, let me back up, if those that don't know, the city had requested a third party give a second set of eyes, give a second opinion over the wage survey and report that Ms. Frank and her entity have done. So that's been assigned to a group called HR Affiliates on Louisville. I spoke to them at the very tail end of last week to see if they were going to have their review and report ready. It's almost finished. It's coming in writing with that. She didn't know if it would be ready by tonight. I haven't gotten it yet. So we don't yet have that. So it's up to you all what to do. I think kind of the consensus that the commission had left it was we need to see this second set of eyes so that everyone is confident and has confidence in the report, or if there's holes in it, how those can be plugged. So I would expect that we all get that report this week. At that point, then you all can.
So the plan is when you get it, just forward it out.
Absolutely, yeah.
We can have an agenda item in first meeting in October.
All right, thank you, sir. Somebody have something? New business action. First thing on there is a designation of trick or treat day. In years past, it has been controversial. It is my recommendation that we go with Saturday the 30th from 6 to 8.
Thank you.
Any other discussion on this? Or
I can just tell you, do not have it on Sunday night.
been there, done that?
Been there and done that. Oh my God.
So is that a motion to have it?
Motion for Saturday night from 6 to 8
A motion
on
by
October
Commissioner
the
Gallagher.
30th.
Second by Commissioner Brooks. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Galbraith,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Gibson,
Yes.
Mayor Plummer,
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts. Motion carries.
Was that 6 to 8?
6 to 8, yes, sir.
Next, we have a first reading of an ordinance amending the code of ordinances relating to animals.
All right, so you'll recall last time we had looked at chapter 50 and 51 of the code, based on a lot of hard work by Andrea and Michelle. Spoke to both of them last week, and on the animal section, we actually don't want to strike right now section 51999, the penalty section. And the reason for that is simple. The numbers aren't aligned. So once the new Joint Code Enforcement Board is operational, this can get repealed or have numbers replaced. But what we don't want to have is this short interim period of time to have an ordinance with no penalties. So since this is a first reading, we'll do that. All that then this ordinance would do is delete chapter 51008, the proverbial no herding livestock in the streets of the city. There are multiple other laws that cover that. So I believe the citizens
yeah,
protect it.
we'll let this serve as first reading of this ordinance. No action needed right now. We'll move on to first reading of an ordinance amending the nuisance code.
So this was a little broader. I took the title page from chapter 50 and kind of inserted a summary in here as to what this ordinance would do, and then the short term, we'll call it short term either, plan would be in the future that we talked about. You see all the notes that we had before. We've got what's outlined new, including the way to address the light pollution that it's called. For the time being, we would leave in section 50, 007, 8, and 9, and those likely would be repealed after the new joint code enforcement procedure is set in place. The same thing would cover all of Article 4, the chronic nuisance properties. That was the board that this commission adopted, which was established, and then it was, at that time, it was kind of the third avenue for cities to take to address abandoned properties. When the state legislature 3-4 years ago adopted all the new code enforcement. This route is really now outdated and it's not really been functional, but again, that's something I think we repeal once the joint code enforcement board is operational. The only question that I think left over from last time is section 50.200, which was the tall grass portion. That's on page 20 and 21. So Andrea and Michelle and I had talked about it. From a code enforcement perspective, what they need is still the ability to address people who aren't mowing their yards, and that's primarily in older parts of town that aren't really subdivisions. You know, a Cypress Street. Not that there isn't property on Cypress, but something like that. The issue I had raised would be things like the new development that is slated for work pretty soon on the left side across the creek. And so as Michelle and I talked through it, we realized exactly what we have in place now gives her the opportunity, because the tall grass must be mowed within 10 inches for 15 feet along all boundaries of the property. So you have to mow 15 feet from the road frontage, 15 feet from your left neighbor, 15 feet from your right, 15 feet from your back of the property. Well, Michelle knows of no instance where somebody went and mowed a square and then left the middle part. And as we said, well, if that's a problem, then we'll fix that. So I think we've kind of come to the recommendation, we just leave 50.200 as it is for now. So all that's the first reading.
Okay,
Any other questions?
Let's get a discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you all.
Yes, thank you. I know it's. Continue. We'll move into financial business, August financials. Right.
Okay, starting on page 29, you'll have our cash balances for the general fund. You'll see that at the end of August, we were at 7.7 million compared to 6.2 million from last year. Year-to-date interest income, we're right around 4,900 compared to about 11,000 for last year. So kind of seeing a lot of the overall just negative impact on low interest rates there. Moving on to page 30 for budget to actual, and starting with next month's reports, I'll start putting in projected numbers, but total revenues at the end of August were 2.4 million. Our expenditures at this point were 1.7, or going around at 1.8 million, leaving us with revenues over expenses of around $682,000 for the month, or for the year to date. And then after that, you've got your standard pages for departmental breakdowns with budgets and actuals by line item. And then moving on to page 49 for the utility fund, you'll see that we have roughly about 2.1 or 2.2 million in operating funds. We do need to back out the 1.8 or 1.9 million that we're still using for the upgrades on the water meters. So it puts us pretty much right in line with last year, around 387,000 in operating cash. Also down in kind of the restricted funds, I pulled out the ARPA funds, just to keep those segregated and allocated interest income to those. So overall on the utility fund, you'll see we're at 4.7 million in cash compared to 1.5 million for last year. Once again, almost 3 million. That's kind of a restricted, so we're fairly comparable cash balance compared to last year. Moving on to page 50, you'll see the actual on utility funds. So far, we've got revenues around 2.9, almost 3 million, and expenditures around 2.2 million, giving us revenues over expenses by 792,000 year to date.
Thank you. Any questions of Brad about financials? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve. Motion. Got a motion from the mayor, second from Mr. Galbraith. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Gibson,
Yes.
Mayor Plummer,
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Galbraith.
Yes, ma'am.
Motion carries.
Moving on to payment of invoices.
Okay, so starting on page 70, and this goes for 3 pages, is the general fund claims report. So on page 72, we'll need a approval for $116,623. Then you've got the detail for the next couple pages on that. Starting on page 77 is utility fund claims summarized. On page 78, you'll see we'll need a approval for $710,502.17. Obviously, as you go back up to the next page, the biggest disbursement is to Perfection Group for the water meters at $609,505.74.
Thank you, Brad. The claims have been presented. I'll need a motion to approve. Thank you. Got a motion by Commissioner Brooks.
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Galbraith. Roll call, please.
Mayor Plummer,
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Galbraith,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Gibson.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Attached also is the outstanding accounts payable. Any questions on those? Don't see any, so we'll move on to reports. Fire Chief? Mike Smith? Fire? Andrea?
I don't really have a report, much of a report today. I'll let you all know, we did complete the interview process for the, code enforcement officer position. And so we'll be meeting with Judge Williams and Jan Wagner, the HR manager over there, in the next couple of days. And when I say we, I mean Michelle and I, to go through the candidates and come to a decision. Then it'll be brought to the planning commission for their review. And that's about it for right now. That's all I have today.
Thank you. Stephanie, do you have? Brian? Right.
I did talk to Carter, and I think he said as of last week they had maybe 1,500
Yes, 1,500.
meters installed, so sounds like
They're
they're making
moving.
progress.
Yes, they're really fast and good job. Stan?
I had two or three things. I'm going to ask Chief Thomas. I saw an email or an alert earlier today. Is there any follow-up on that, or do you have anything to add to that?
We don't have anything to add.
Okay.
But this, we have a better description, but we just didn't put that out. But
Okay.
we're not sure how serious, really serious it was versus, was it just them feeling that way? So we wanted to put something out to make sure all parents and teachers, because the school's going to put something out anyways.
Right, they should be calling, as you said in that, they should be calling the police and doing that instead of putting it out on Facebook or something, and, that being the first point of contact, I guess. So
We
that,
haven't, we've checked them.
But, okay, there's no update. Okay. Second thing is, I was going to ask about, Brian, what about Clough property?
Talked to Jimmy Lovell midweek, last week, about that. There was one issue we needed to track down on the property description, because the agreement was that he was going to keep the house, and so we have to make sure that that's a separate tract. And if it's not, then we'll have to visit Andrew.
Okay. Done.
Right here.
All right. And then the other thing was, it was several months ago, there was discussion about PSC had a matter before them on net metering. Was there anything ever done?
I saw an email. I didn't have a chance to read the email.
Just received an email.
Yeah.
I did just before I came to this meeting. I forwarded it on to Todd because Todd's the one that tracked it. Evidently, the PSC did render a decision, but I'm going to allow Todd to answer Mr. Zola.
That's fine. Okay.
I think it's his name.
I just found a note the other day on something.
Also, but it's the Z.
See.
So you all were waiting to adopt the policy. until you
Yes, we
saw
wanted
what
to
the
see what.
PSC's ruling was.
Right, yes, we needed to see that before we could act on anything, because we've had some customers in the city asking about it, putting on solar panels and net metering and things like that, so we need to know.
I think they have just rendered a decision last day or so.
All right, that's fine.
And I forwarded that on to Todd.
Ziegler.
Ziegler.
Yes.
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Roberts.
Here's
Right.
I attended a meeting Sunday for the West Side. It was a good meeting. It was at 3 p.m. Andrea was there, and just, it's going very well, the West Side, and I do want to commend the police department. There was an email that was sent out, just the West Side residents are seeing the invisible, they're out walking and things like that, and so the citizens were happy to see that. And, former Commissioner Hannah Allen, she spearheaded that meeting on Sunday and did a really good job. So I just wanted you all to know that I did attend that meeting on Sunday.
And you gave us an update on the traffic light.
Main Street.
Main Street.
We did have a progress meeting today. They assured us that in 3 weeks they will be blacktopping and plan to have it, not the finish coat, but put a base coat down and open to traffic. It's from curb to curb and sidewalks in, and there's still, the jury's still out on if they're gonna move immediately onto High Street and start work or knock off for a couple of months. But we have got a commitment from them to lay us moving coat on High Street, because it could be 3 or 4 months before they get back on it to level that out and make it a smoother drive through the winter. So.
What was the date of that commitment, that first?
There wasn't no real.
Mike was there, it was not a firm day, they said 3 weeks they will be blacktopping.
I don't think they want to put a confirmed commitment on that. No.
Okay. Moving blacktop for 3 more weeks or what?
In 3 weeks.
In 3 weeks, they will be leveling up both sides with blacktop.
Not finished.
That's all the way to 2nd Street?
No,
Oh.
this is just from 20th Street to 13th Street.
Oh.
There is a movement because the blacktop season, ends when the temperature changes, that we might hold off on the finish coat that would be from bypass to bypass in the, spring of next year.
Are they doing it? Things to the sidewalks, grass hardens coming in toward town. Are they gonna tell them that or?
It goes,
St. Mary's School,
no, it goes, stops at 13th Street.
13.
13th Street is where the sidewalk stops.
Thank you for the update.
All right, any other update? Okay.
I do have one more thing, I'm
Yes, ma'am.
sorry. At that meeting, we also talked about the dump being moved, so we still need to keep that on our radar about just where we could potentially look at moving it and working with the West Side residents to, for their help also, and helping us looking for sites and hopefully, I don't know, if we can look for grant dollars or what.
We are looking, and last week, we had a meeting with Groundworks USA, a kickoff meeting, which is a group that's working with us to do some environmental studies
Right.
and some impacts in the area, and it was a very good meeting, and we're gonna move forward with that, and there's a group that is gonna meet again about sites and locations. So,
Awesome.
right. Okay, now we need an executive session pursuant to KRS 61.8110(1)(c) for discussion of pending or threatening litigation for which disclosure of details might compromise litigation posture. So, got a motion to that effect from Commissioner Brooks, second from Commissioner Gibson. Roll call, please.
Mayor Plummer,
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Galbraith,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Gibson.
Yes.
Motion carries.